What's poppin'? It's me, your boy, Alci, host of Alci Rambles, and today I'm just gonna elaborate a little more on what I covered in the last video before we get this podcast rolling on Sunday. So, the most major concern I'm going to tackle right now is our schedule and how we'll be running this program. First off, it's gonna run on Sunday every 2 weeks at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and this is gonna start on April 19th. So, how it's going to run is I'm going to stream initially so I can get some interaction with the audience, with you guys, and see the inputs each people have live. So I'm able to reply instantly rather than waiting afterwards and replying afterwards. So I can adjust and even answer your questions and concerns during the stream. Of course, after the stream, I'll be able to edit up the audio, make it sound nice and crisp, and upload it to Spotify under the name of Alci Rambles, of course. So, what will the podcast cover? I was a bit vague about this in the last video, and I do apologize for that, but I will get into more of that right now. So, like in the last video, I mentioned that the podcast would be mostly centered around music, whether it be brand new or even really old music. It's going to focus on my opinion and the way that, or the process that I come to that opinion, how I make it, what I really do to understand an album, a piece of art, and process it and say, do I like this? Do I not like it? What do I like? What don't I like? Right? But the podcast is a collection of my ramblings, what I'm passionate about. So I will actually cover other topics. So, like historical knowledge, big fan of history. I'll be sure to tackle that, whether it be in discussion with other people, which I'll get to in a minute, or I just bring it up, start talking about how interesting a certain period in time is, and try and educate you guys. And also modern day politics, which is a hot topic, especially here in America, where you should pretty much be knowledgeable in politics. It's part of day in, day out. They're all the time talking about politics. It's pretty rough here living in this country. And you'll see me getting into debates over politics with my guests, which brings me to my next point. I am thinking of bringing guests onto the show. They won't always be present, so sometimes it'll just be me, and we'll have more time to talk about music and stuff, albums, new album releases, old album releases, my opinion, yada yada. But I will certainly have some of my friends come on to the podcast, spice things up, get a good discussion going, see what we can talk about. And I would like to hear feedback about that, because I'm planning on having one of my friends come on for the first episode of the podcast. So we're still going over how we would make that happen, whether or not we would have them be recorded just like me or during the stream, or maybe we'll just be audio of them and you can hear me screaming at pretty much nothing. But that's just a short elaboration on how things are gonna roll in the podcast. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the stream on Sunday. And I also hope that you listen and download my podcast on Spotify. All right, peace.